Hey guys, I'm back with a video showing an acrylic feel with 2 nail fix, or technically a rebalance. This is just me applying my second coat of primer. Now I'm applying my bead of acrylic. We're getting that flush with the cuticle and the sidewalls. And then we're going to blend it. And that's just me checking the structure. This nail she broke. I fixed it with some silk. And now we are priming it with our second coat of primer. I apologize for all the adjusting of the camera. I try to make sure I get good angles while filming. And then we're just applying our bead. Acrylic is self-leveling, so if you get close enough to the cuticle without flooding, it will actually level itself to the cuticle, as long as you're not too close, and it will not flood. And then this is just me smoothing it out and bringing it down. And this is Young Nails Speed Clear. My top acrylics, of course, Young Nails, because they are affordable and for the most part easy to work with. My second would be just for clear only, Super Nails. Very easy to work with. Depending on which monomer you use with it. And this is just me clearing out the excess acrylic. I prefer to use my brush versus my hands because I don't like wearing gloves. Gloves tend to get real dirty when you're filing with the pieces of acrylic that fly everywhere. And this is actually, I guess technically there were 3 nail fixes on this hand because she broke this nail. So that's why I don't wear gloves. The acrylic dust just sticks to them, and then it's all over your client's hand. So then you're brushing their hand off and then adding it right back with the glove. Again, just to pick it up, my bead of acrylic, tucking it by the cuticle and then to the sidewalls. And this is, of course, sculpting on a nail. When my clients break their nails, typically because we do overlays, I sculpt out a nail. I do not use a tip. For me personally, sculpting to replace broken nails has always been the better option, the stronger option, because it's all acrylic, no tip, no glue to have to worry about separating or lifting, none of that. Because yes, based on the kind of glue you use, you can end up with some separation from the nail bed, which could then end up leading to some lifting of the nail tip, leading to lifting of the acrylic. I'm typically not a traditional bead method girl. I kind of just use whatever I need to make sure my structure is there. Here we are fixing this nail because she broke the tip off. So we're just priming it. And this is No Lift Nail Primer. The first primer was Protein Bond. We're just floating it for like right up to the cuticle as close as possible without flooding. Anyway, I also like Mia Secrets covers, so I use those. I also like Makartt Pros covers. I am a nail tech that thinks that even if a product is not super expensive, you can make good nails out of it. I also think you can use inexpensive or cheap products in a safe way. I do not bash products. If I have an issue with them, I will just tell you what the issue is. There's no hate, just the facts. For my liking. So therefore, if it's a product that doesn't work well, or doesn't cure, or it wrinkles, it chips, those are things that I will tell you. Absolutely. Whether it's a cheap product or an expensive product. I have always used a stronger light than the 45. It's nanowatts or whatever that they... Actually, I think it's watts. The 45 watts that they want you to use or recommend that you use. I don't use that. I've never used that. Just because I like to use all kinds of gels, and that is the whole point of people making lamps to go with their gel polish only. And if you bought a nail lamp to go with every single gel polish you had, your service would be trash, because we frequently mix gel polishes, as in we'll put one down as the base color, we'll put one down for the design, or several down in case of the design. But we'll get back to that in a minute. Now we have filed the nails, we have base coated the nails, because I always use base coat. It helps prevent chipping of the polish. We are now covering them with the D&D, I think it's Boston Red. Looks like it's 456. My D&D polishes are old. I'm just going to put that disclaimer out there now. I've seen all the crap about D&D polishes not working and being different colors and all of that stuff. All I can tell you is what's on my bottle, and that it's old. I've had these bottles for 4 years and some change, so... Now on this thumb, we will be using the infamous hated polish at the current moment, which would be Beetles. It was a nude. Yes, it cured in my lamp. I never have any problems with it. As I said, if you are a professional, you typically can work with any kind of product. And gel is supposed to be applied thin, so I don't do any hate, and I don't want any hate over here on my page. So this is a page of love, Use your products, use them carefully and wisely. Then you see me apply top coat to those red nails. And then the second coat of nude. And the second coat of that Boston red to that pinky. And now we're going to apply chrome to the 3 middle fingers. Or, technically, they're not 3 middle fingers. It's the 3 fingers in the middle. I'm typically messy with my chrome. I clean it up later. And I try to be as good and as conscious when applying gel polish to prevent allergies and any of that. I follow great instructors that talk about allergies and the things that cause allergies and how to avoid them, all those good things. People always have an opinion and don't like other people's opinion. It is what it is. Right here, I am applying that Boston red with a liner brush and then filling it in with the bottle brush. We're going to be creating a Santa hat because that's what she wanted. Now, with that Santa hat, you could have applied top coat and made it chromy, but Santa hats aren't chromy, so yeah, no, we wasn't going to do that. The inspo she sent me was 2 different pictures because she wanted a Santa hat on her thumb, so we left it the Boston red. Now we're just applying the poof ball at the end of the hat and around the edge. And this white is the Mia Secret Gel Paint. And not regular gel white polish. I wanted something that was going to hold more of the dotted shape for that hat so that it could look like the fluff that I was trying to create. And that gel paint is way thicker than gel polish, so it absolutely holds however you apply it. Right now I am buffing the pinky because we are going to sugar that nail. So that pinky just had the 2 color coats and the base coat, and I wiped off that tacky layer. And I cure all my polishes for 60 seconds, just an FYI. So now we are going to apply rhinestone gel. Because if you want your sugaring to last, baby, the surface has to be rough. Sugaring will chip right on off of a shiny surface. I'm going to tell you the things that a lot of nail techs won't tell you. You'll see them apply the sugar, the glitter to the top of the nail after a shiny coat, and then you do the same thing and wonder why yours is coming off. Because that nail tech said theirs lasts 4 to 6 weeks. Right now I am applying base coat to that chrome. This is how I always seal in my chrome. I do not seal it in top coat over top coat because top coats can chip. And now we are top coating it after that base coat. But anyway, back to the sugaring. And then they won't tell you how they got theirs to stay on. So make sure you're buffing that surface. You can go back in, if it's like the candy cane nails where you have lines in between, you can go back in with the top coat to seal that if you need to. But absolutely, if you can, buff that nail or rough that nail up, make that surface not so slick and smooth. And we are doing the same over here for the sweater nail. And I know a lot of y'all are gonna be like, oh my god, you roughed up the surface for a sweater nail? Absolutely, that acrylic will chip and wear away after time. I know this because it's been trial and error for me. So what I have learned is no shiny surfaces for things that are supposed to stick on top. Create a rough surface first, then apply all of your designs, then you can go back in and fill it in. However, I will be truthful and honest and say that there are some designs that you absolutely cannot do that with. If you rough that surface up to apply, you won't be able to go back in, depending on some of the designs. Right here, we just created a snowflake on that ring finger. And this gel right here is a no wipe chrome gel. Because I had already top coated this nail, I wanted something I didn't have to worry about top coating. And that would also leave a tad bit of texture behind. And you just see me applying the little slash marks. Anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying your holidays. I know it gets a little crazy around the time, especially for people who have like lost loved ones. I pray that this season is not a horrible one for you and your family. And I absolutely can relate to the holidays being a hard time, especially if you've lost someone around them. And we are moving on to this middle finger. And we are doing... looks like a lot. We have to back up a little bit because I wanted to try to clean up that chrome, which didn't work out too well. Because I ended up messing up the snowflake. Got a little too zealous. So now you're going to see me fix the snowflake. And the brush I'm using is a Winstonia brush. I've had them since before I became a nail tech. They are old, baby. Now we are moving to the middle finger to do the candy cane stripes. And again, this is no white thick gel for 3D chroming designs. And I just try to smooth it out as good as possible. And I know you guys are probably like, well, wait a minute, you just said not to put something shiny on a non-rough surface. In this case, this is just polish, and polish will stick to polish. We're not applying a powder or a glitter. So in this case, that's absolutely fine. And the brush that I'm using right there is just a line brush set that I got off of Amazon. Can't tell you the name of it, but you can pretty much find them all over Amazon in different colors. This chrome nail is a sweater design, and I prefer to try and use a color that is either the same color as the gel polish or close to the color of the gel polish in acrylic to do sweater nails. I am not a real big fan of the clear because I feel like it kind of detracts from the design, but that's just my personal opinion. Use whatever you get. I'm not a fan of going out and buying stuff just so you can make a design work or look better. And when we're done with that, now we're going to sprinkle with this colored acrylic. And this colored acrylic is the Boston Red. Now, I previously said I didn't want to talk about products or mention them. This is just a courtesy, because some people can't find colors that they like, and I'm doing a voiceover versus just playing music, so I decided I would do this one last time. I've never really been a real big fan of telling you exactly what I'm using in the first place, because I want you to use what you have and not spend any extra money on trying to create a design the exact same by running out and picking up exactly what someone has used. I'm not a fan of that. And then we're taking matte gel and just going around those lines to, of course, finish sealing that nail and design. And here is the finished product. Hope you guys like it.